I am Kathy Guyson, and I am the president of the Nurses Organization for Veteran Affairs. NOVA has been a very huge part of my life for more than 15 years now. As a member for NOVA, I have been able to learn so much. It has brought such an immense piece to my life being a part of NOVA. I began in Nova as a member, like I said, more than 15 years ago. And I started because one of my peers at work was a member, and she encouraged me. You have to come see what you're missing. You're missing so much. This is all about VA nursing and what we do, and you're missing out on learning. So one day I said, okay, I'll join. And more than 15 years later, I find myself as the president of NOVA now. Very proud to be leading an organization that is only for VA nurses. It's just such a part of my life. Um, and I hope that when I leave as president, I have done one thing to improve the organization. I'd like to introduce Michelle Salazar Rodriguez, the president-elect of NOVA.
Hello. As Kathy said, my name is Michelle Salazar Rodriguez, and I am the president-elect of Nurses Organization of the VA. I was invited to a NOVA meeting in 2015, and I was not sure what NOVA was all about. So I went to that meeting at my facility, and I was very impressed with the things I was being told about NOVA. So impressed that I attended my first annual conference in 2015, which just happened to be in Washington, D.C., a place that was on my bucket list. It was at that conference that I learned about how involved NOVA is with advocacy for the veterans, for the VA nurses, and for the VA as a whole. I was able to meet our current VA secretary. I was able to see members of the VA House and Senate committees, staffers. I was able to advocate for VA nursing and the veterans, and I had never had such a feeling of accomplishment in my whole life. This has led me to continuously be either the chair or the co-chair of NOVA's legislative committee and to build and grow relationships on Capitol Hill. I love the advocacy part. I personally have been able to help change the process for the better for veterans. And I've seen what hard work can do and what a voice from one nurse can do to make things better and to help the veterans navigate their journey through VA healthcare, which is not always easy.
Thanks, Michelle. One of the things that I truly enjoy about NOVA and its annual conference is that we're unique. Unlike the larger nursing organizations, NOVA focuses exclusively on VA nurses and the veterans that we serve every day. At the annual meeting, our conference is led by VA nurses, led by all VA staff who come to be our speakers, and we have veterans that come and speak to us as well. But the sessions are really focused on improving the care delivered by the VA nurse. Very much a grassroots sessions at times. The sessions are relevant, they're practical, they're truly rooted in VA nursing practice. We use real world VA nurse scenarios, which are unique, as you know, to our VA nurses and the care we provide, because veterans have very unique needs than the general population. So our conference really is focused on how do I, as a VA nurse, improve the care that I deliver every day to our veterans. So I'm always very, very excited to go and learn new things from my peers across the country. But one of the other things, to Michelle, your point, is the advocacy. We get to advocate at a national and a local level. I can go down the street and speak to my congressman and senator's office, or I can have that voice on the Hill and go to DC, which is very, very powerful because nurses are the most trusted profession, and they do truly listen to us when we go to DC and speak about the issues that are impacting VA care. But they also do join us. The staffers for the House and the Senate VA committees, they join us at our annual conference and they want to hear from us and they bring us such a wealth of legislative information that it's always a pleasure to listen to them talk. But they also ensure that our voices are heard at the national level and help us improve our practice across the entire VA system. Michelle, I would ask you, what value do you think the NOVA conference brings to the VA nursing industry?
Kathy, I really love the fact that Nova is so VA centered. Working for the veterans every single day is so much different than working for private sector patients. There are so many needs, especially mental health needs, that the private sector really isn't trained as well as VA providers to provide the care. Our conferences each year include some aspect of mental health nursing and mental health advancements. For instance, last year we had a nurse from Arkansas that presented how they use virtual reality to help their mental health PTSD patients in their care and in their recovery. And I just think it's great how we can have these VA nurses bring best practices forward and share it with other VAs so they can take those lessons learned, they can take their wins back to their own facilities and help veterans every day. I also love that it is dedicated specifically to VA because again, a lot of the private sector, they don't understand the different idiosyncrasies, the different things that we go through as VA nurses. It's different when everything that we do literally takes an act of Congress um, to do. So having other VA nurses there that understand the way VA runs, meeting other contacts within your specialty is really great. I've been able to call on people in the same position that I'm in for standard operating procedures or policies, different things to assist in making our jobs easier, doing better at anything that we do within VA. We also partner with different organizations that may be veteran owned or veteran centric. For instance, this year, Noah Courier from Oscar Mike is a veteran and he's coming to speak to us. We have Kyle from Creative Vets right from Nashville that will be there and talking about what their program does through art and music therapy to assist veterans in working through their PTSD or other issues from their military time. I think all of the poster presentations that we get are wonderful, and each of the nurses that attend can go back to their facility with something or 10 things that they've learned at our annual conference, as well as many new friends. But Kathy, why, if you were telling a new nurse or a VA nurse or a non-NOVA nurse why they should attend this year's conference, what would you say?
Oh, I could say so much about that. To your point, the education is truly developed and presented that speaks to the realities of VA practice. We are very unique in the care that we deliver in our population. So it's always very exciting to hear about what people are doing across the country. As the VA is the largest healthcare system in our nation, we have the ability to have access to so much going on. And you could hear from a nurse from Kansas City who's developed an entire program that is unique, but you have the ability to meet with that person and learn from that person and take that program back to your facility where you can improve the care for your veterans. Um, One of my favorite things, and you'll probably hear me say it again, is the opportunity to network, to really truly connect with people who do the same job I do every day. Our challenges, while they're unique to the VA, they're not unique in the VA. The challenges I have every day, you have, Michelle, every day across the entire VA system. And how do we improve that? So being able to truly connect with others who do the same job and bring back those challenges and those rewards and improve what we do. One of my other things is professional development. Every nurse should be seeking professional development on a daily basis, and Nova delivers that. It gives you the opportunity to professionally develop, also has the opportunity for leadership growth. Um, Sessions are designed for your clinical expertise, your leadership skill, advocating for the veterans and for ourselves as VA nurses. But this year, Michelle, is very, very unique. And I'm very proud to say that this year will be a celebration of the 45-year anniversary for Nova. Nova has been around since 1980. Again, the only nursing organization for VA nurses. And Nova has made such a huge impact on the way we give care to ensure that nurses are treated at a respectable level, to ensure that we have proper staffing across our healthcare systems. So to be able to celebrate that this year in beautiful Nashville, I'm very, very, very excited. But I would then ask you, Michelle, if you're not a member or you're not coming to our conference, what's the risk of that not being a member of Nova and attending our conference?
I think that it is, I mean, I love Nova, and to me, it's a huge risk because I learned that I had a voice and I could advocate when I went to that first Nova conference and attended my first legislative roundtable. So they're missing out on having that voice. They're missing out on creating those relationships with the members of Congress and their staffers that can help us drive the change for VA nursing, the veterans, and VA as a whole. They're not going to have the input that they truly could have to make sure that we are working at the top of our scopes, that we are fairly paid, that the veterans are getting the best health care that they possibly could have. And where a lot of the facilities are moving to like the shared governance pathways model, I mean, that's based on frontline staff having a voice at the table. Nova is a perfect example of this because we have a voice at the table every time we go to a legislative roundtable, every time we meet with our members of Congress, every time we might write an email in support of a certain bill or maybe asking them to take caution because it's something that truly could hurt VA. So we're missing out on that voice if you're not a Nova member and you're not kept up to date with everything that's happening with VA. You have limited accesses to resources that Nova can provide. Like we have the networking you speak about, which is my favorite part. I never thought I'd have friends on the East Coast, the West Coast, and the South, but I have friends from all over now. A mentorship, we provide mentorship for new Nova nurses. There's educational opportunities through our webinars and at our annual conferences that directly impact our professional growth. And I think we're all trying to stay, relevant and relative in our jobs. So why not grow? Like, why not take everything you can given through that membership? And you really lose out on a really unique group of colleagues who also come to work every day to serve our veterans and to complete the mission of the VA, who really display the eye care values that the VA talks about so often. And as I said before, working for the VA and taking care of veterans is very unique, and it's so much different than the private sector. And I didn't understand that until I came here. But I will tell you, it's probably the most rewarding work I've ever done as a nurse, just knowing that I'm that voice for our veteran, whether it's here at my local facility or it's on a national platform through Nova. But I know we have top reasons to join Nova. What would your top reason be, Kathy?
We do. Again, very focused on VA nursing, the community of VA nursing. Again, a very unique situation. We're not a local healthcare system. We are a national healthcare system, and that is a huge community of nurses that we could learn from, work with. Again, I have friends all over the country I never would have had prior to Nova. Um, and they understand. We understand each other's unique challenges, and we share the same mission at the end of the day to care for our veterans and to ensure that they get the best, highest quality care that we can possibly deliver and that they deserve. And I truly am an advocate for professional growth. And again, Nova gives you the opportunity for continuing education, as you've mentioned, through webinars and leadership opportunities. Every VA nurse who's a Nova member is welcome to run for the Nova board and really drive how we do assist VA nurses in our care. And of course, your favorite, Michelle, and I'll let you speak to advocacy.
Yeah, so I'm sure you would be surprised to know that advocacy is probably my favorite one. But a personal story, I used to work for Care in the Community. And when they first came out with the Choice Act, there were so many barriers. And my first legislative committee, when they found out what my role was, they asked me to speak. And it was at that moment when I was so passionate about the barriers the veterans were having with this newly created law and the third party administrative service that was assigned to them. And they listened. They listened. I had a senator's office call and want me to help write an opening statement. I was able to help make changes for the veterans for the better. And I've been hooked on the advocacy ever since. And we have a wonderful advocacy director in Teresa Morris, and she's been in DC for so many years that she has built so many relationships with veteran service officers, with the members of Congress on the Hill, their staffers on the Hill, that they truly have learned that Nova nurses are so passionate about what we do, and they want to do whatever they can to help us and the veterans. And without Nova, I would have never known I could do anything like that.
Excellent. It, it's been a pleasure talking about Nova today, and I just can't wait. I can't wait for October to come and for us to be able to go to that 55th, the 45th anniversary. I'm a little ahead of my time here, evidently. It's just so exciting. I'm just so very excited to be able to see everyone soon. So thanks for taking time to chat with me today, Michelle. It's been wonderful.
I am very excited about the conference as well, Kathy. This is the first time I've ever chaired a program. So if there's been some challenges for me, and I'm sure I'm making people a little crazy, but I am so excited for us to go to Nashville. I just think it's a wonderful place to celebrate our 45th anniversary.